You know, there's a guy to get kind of rated down on his mindset. Creator might just be the guy. I don't disagree. You gotta rate people down for something. In the bottom right-hand side, it is Creator. We finally get in game. Our blue Protoss on Berlingrad from Team NV, as it's 1-1 tied up here, of course, in the best of 7. The Shopify Rebellion Scarlett. Here, the red Zerg in the top left-hand side. Let's see what goes down. Is Scarlett in Korea at the moment? I do not believe so. I believe she's still in Canada, as she has been for a while. But obviously it is becoming a little bit more possible to get back to Korea, so it is possible that that is something that's starting to happen. I haven't heard of her going to Korea, but it's possible that she did so without me knowing. So, yeah. I mean, her room isn't shrouded in darkness for once, so that's already different. So maybe go back to Canada, your room lights up again. Maybe that's what we've been missing all this time for Scarlett. The light was there. She left the light in Korea. Hey, Drew Lord J, thank you so much for the name of the resub. All hail Wardy. All hail your sub. Thanks so much for supporting. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see what goes down. A little bit of PvZ. And Crit, obviously, again, really has leveled up a little bit lately. So yeah, next is down, and we get this underway. Cybercore building as well. Drone gonna come out, nibbling up that probe a little bit. It's getting a little bit icy out over there. And speed is continuing along here, and just gonna be having the robotics facility going down on the side of Creator. So robo opening is gonna be our first real thing to talk about here a little bit. That robo is something which is not quite the norm in PvZ, but for some of these shorter maps, we have started to see Warp Prism, Robo Bay kind of styles. So haven't seen that a little bit as of late. As I think that tapped out something here. The FPS just dropped a little bit, guys. Hopefully that gets fixed. Looks like it's back. Yeah, these robo openers have become a little bit more common. Zan was one to kind of do this on maps like Curious Minds quite a lot. So that's something which you can keep in mind. We'll see exactly how Creator goes about this robo. Obviously, a few possibilities from it. Could just go Prism a few gateway units and then kind of go from there. If he doesn't want to go meet. I mean, most of the builds with the fast robo go very quick Prism. Because if you're not getting a Prism out, you're actually in trouble, right? Because if there's no Prism, then how do you put any pressure on? The Zerg just gets to do whatever. It's actually going to be a robo bay pretty much immediately. And there is the Prism as well, so they kind of go hand in hand. You get the Prism up to harass a little bit early, then you get a Disruptor, then you start dropping around the map. And you can turn that into a 2-base all-in, a way to go up to 3 bases. There is absolutely a little bit of variety in that one, so yeah, you get some choices. Drops the road drone down into the main base, and it's going to be having our extra drones all pouring on out. As Scarlett prepares for the initial defense. I mean, against, if this is going to be Disruptor drops, against the Disruptor drops, there isn't just one defense, though, right? It's a continuous defense all the way throughout the game. You got to be really careful about it, as we do see the Prism speed on the way up at the moment. Just bringing that into play. A couple of Adepts continuing through. And just going to be having the couple of Adepts going in to chase that Zergling away as well. It's doing a pretty decent job of just zoning. Obviously, Scarlett has pretty good map control of the Overlords because there's not been a Stargate opener, so she doesn't feel the need to bring the Overlords back in or anything, retract them. That's one of the big benefits here, is that you do get to keep this map control, seeing stuff like this Prism, these Adepts moving. You just get to see a lot of that, you know, very far ahead of time, so you're able to kind of make those, you know, get reactions going nice and quickly and stuff, so it's definitely nice. These Adepts do begin to head back. So obviously it was never really about the adepts or anything. It's more so about this drop. And the 2 disruptors come out. We are going to go Colossus behind this as well, so prepping for the follow-up here. And again, it's really a question of, do we start to look for an expansion now? Or are we going to try and all in when that Colossus is on the map? Looks like Creator is saved up for the expand. I believe has just spent the money on the Nexus. There it is, going down now. And the first disruptor shots. Find a single queen, so it's something, but it ain't exactly the best. Scarlett won't be too upset about only losing out on a single queen there. Let's get the Forge and the Twilight Council going into the main base as well. And the Roach speed starting up on that Rotron. Baneling speed coming up as well. All of that continues through. 2 disruptors will move back around to the top. Try and get something done there, but just going to be seeing the Prism is going to just about skirt away from the bow. Another disruptor shot goes in. Queen takes some damage. Again, Blink +1 on the way as the creator starting to show us the follow-up here. Obviously, it is a 3rd base, so just going to play that 1 Colossus. Actually helps a lot against, like, Lings and stuff. You got the Disruptors, which helps a lot against the Roaches. Then you're going to just eventually play into Blink and that kind of more standard kind of gateway force that we see a lot of the time in PvZ. So, yeah, fun way of going about this. Like I said, because of the Disruptor drops, you've kind of got danger to apply basically throughout the entirety of the game. So that's something you've, kind of got to respect quite a bit. And Baneling Nest is about to finish up its upgrade. The Roach speed's about to come online, so everything's about to be moving a little bit quicker here in the next few moments. So, and everything kind of sped up and progressing. So do you have our Prism along down to the bottom right? Disruptor shot fires through. We hit a Roach and a Baneling. Going to be seeing another Roach going down, so it connects there, and just going to be seeing these few units from Creator. Actually going to get good force fields off to put some damage out. Force fields are going to get busted down by the Biles. And the Banelings get through. The Super Battery goes down. That's huge for Scarlett, who is going to go after those Disruptors. 1 and 2 go down. The Prism wasn't close enough to save them all. The Probes die as well. Wow, gotta say, that feels like a pretty disastrous fight here. We get the Disruptor before it connects as well. And still no Blink, so we can't even chase down this little squad of Roach Ravager. It's gonna get away. I mean, we'll Prism Micro a little bit to try, but wow, we even managed to Corrosive Bile down one more Stalker at the very end there. Wow. The denial on that Disruptor was huge, because obviously that could have been a big connection. And that was a grand old time for Scarlett. Definitely a good fight. Resets a lot of the tech especially, and again, just getting the Disruptor count low, going to mean way less of those Disruptor balls to dodge, and that's very important indeed. It just makes life way easier. As that is going to be 5 kills though, so that is going to be some success. The Ling run by will not find much just yet either. Spire's on the way up. Melee and missile upgrades starting as Scarlett starts to think about the next step of this game and what she'll try and do. Melee and missiles really is that kind of, do a bit of everything setup, I suppose. As we have got the Prism chilling in the top of the map, waiting for its opportunity to come back again sometime. It's the power again of that Disruptor, right? We're flying over here. We get a shot off. Last time. 5 drones again. Didn't look like it was going to get much, but still finds 5 drones. It really is the power. Those Disruptors are pretty crazy, honestly. They can do more than you expect them to. Infestation Pit is now starting as well, by the way, so bringing that up also here. Mr. Bane's coming down. The Ravagers morphing in along with all of this as well. So away we go as we get a shot off. That Ling gets picked. Oh no. Oh no, the Banes are just AFK! Oh my goodness, I guess they just finished morphing. She hadn't given them a move command or anything yet, or they were just left there, and wow, the Disruptor just finds a clump of Banelings. That's kind of brutal, right? Especially if you want to go and be more aggressive again, if you want to keep kind of throwing units at your opponents. That's much more difficult after losing out on all of that. Wow, that's actually kind of shocking. Jeez. I don't think I've seen a Disruptor just find like a group of still Banelings like that in at least quite some time. They were just sat there waiting for something, but the something that they got was not the something they wanted. This disruptor shot's pretty good too, hitting a bunch of Ravages, and now the disruptors are definitely helping draw Creator back into this game a little bit. And it's off of the lower disruptor count as well, right? It seems as though when we're on very low disruptors, Creator has found the absolute best shots, when it should have been maybe at its most manageable. Now, as this forces Scarlett moving around the top side, Creator was moving his prism there with the disruptor as though trying to track it. Scarlett is set to try come in from 2 different angles, however, so we'll see. This disruptor shot this time doesn't do much. We've got a bit of time to work with here. There is that one disruptor on this left side as well. It doesn't fire at all, and the force fields are good. As we are going to come through, the disruptor on the natural there took a shot but doesn't go down. They've got a lot of Banes that don't really know where they want to go. I think they want to hit the mineral line realistically, but they kind of had to turn around and go the other way to get there, and they finally get a couple of probes, but really nothing spectacular. That definitely feels as though Scarlett wanted more. We do probably find the sentries there. Not even, because we just try and chase the probes down, and Scarlett is in a couple of different places. Again, has to stay so careful about those disruptors, which could be recharged and ready to go again at any point. But she's going to lose this army on the right side. The army on the left is just linked, so this isn't going to find any progress at all either. And it looks as though Scarlett is going to have to back away from these attempted fights without finding much love at all, as one more Ravager goes down. Suddenly Creator is on the other side of the map and looking to pressure, looking to get some damage done. Let's see how well he can do now. Another disruptor shot flying in. It's the Ravager or so. Scarlett trying to push this back. A lot of Stalkers, so a lot of what you're using now as Scarlett just isn't as effective versus what Creator has. Again, with that amount of Stalkers and Archons, the tankiness is huge, and disruptors just keep forcing you back every single time, continuing to make your life, again, just as difficult as possible. Let's move back around. Still kind of staying in the middle for the most part. They did back it up for at least a little while, but Scarlett has got Vipers, which might make life a bit more difficult for Creator. We can abduct in some of the Colossi/Disruptors. Blinding Clouds could maybe be meaningful as well. Definitely some chances there to make stuff happen. Kind of Banelin's morphs on the right side, and Scarlett's counterattack here almost feels like it needs to do a little bit of something. It feels like it's been a while since the counterattack really went good for Scarlett. She's going to go to the front, she's going to get through, and she'll find a bunch of probes. Cannon. Yeah, okay, this was nice. 16 probes, and you get rid of the stack defense there for later. Oh, and Creator's army's a little bit split here, but then Scarlett's army kind of splits up in the process of moving down, and now Creator maybe arguably has the surround on this. He's got a few Banes around to chase to get rid of some chasing Zealots. And this is going to chill out for just a second or so at least. Red actually goes up to the high ground. He's going to continue to chase to the top. You abduct the Colossus in. That goes down. Disruptor shots flying through. Ravager goes down. A couple more Biles. It's like an Archon that goes down now. Creator is pushing, absolutely looking to try and take this down. He's not maxed though. He doesn't have too many probes now either. So rebuilding off the back of this might not be great. He isn't rebuilding any probes at all. So kind of committed to doing big damage right now, but Scarlett's army supply just is not there. She's starting to rebuild, but it's going to take so long for units to get out. They're going to be all over the place. Can't imagine this is working out, as we do see the Banes going in to try and find whatever they can. Disruptors are connecting though. The Banes just not really doing enough. They're going to try and blow up Disruptors. Scarlett's still just about maintaining the supply lead, but again, now it's going to start being used, trailing in a few at a time. But you know what? This little bit of Roach Ravager lasted longer than I thought. And with the Lings showing up against only Stalkers, is it maybe possible? Maybe just too many Stalkers. Scarlett has to pull back. She has got +2 melee on those Lings, making them deadly. These Stalkers come blinking down the low ground. More Lings, more Roaches trying to come in against this. Creator just keeps on pushing, will not let this go just now. Really determined to seemingly go all the way and end this sooner rather than later. We've got a... what do we do with the Viper? Yeah, Blinding Cloud. I was thinking, do we maybe have a way to abduct the Prism? He could have maybe abducted the Prism for the sake of, like, canceling one of the Warpins. That might have actually been kind of cool. Scarlett's getting another round of units up, getting closer and closer to +3 melee as well, so maybe there is still some hope here. Hatchery's going to go down. Scarlett has the top right hatch. That's not ideal because obviously units from that base are going to be going in a weird way. She's actually going to send them to counterattack. Freda now finds it. Scarlett has the creep to potentially engage in over in this direction if she wants to. Things roll in. A couple of stalkers getting pushed back. See extra stalkers warping in on the far right side with the prism. And those roaches getting pushed back away the top side as well. Well, I mean, Scarlett ends up surviving, just trying to survey the scene here, and yeah, you survive, you kind of get on by. You can see a couple hatches and festers all continuing to build. Still pushing up, just gonna see a Hydra going down. Roaches, Ravages, and Festers all still building up. Extra Stalkers all coming through here as well. And just seeing this army of Scarlett continuing to look okay for now. Creator comes around the bottom left, is going to grab an Overlord. So that Overlord will go down. Extra Ravages building. I mean, the fact this game got to stabilize a bit, I was trying to figure out if it was good for Scarlett or not, because obviously it's a bit of a weird situation, especially when... It's a bit of a weird situation, especially when you've got to consider that Scarlett is losing bases during all of this as well, and that's definitely what made it difficult to judge, but I think at the end of the day, she kept enough bases up to keep this going. Of course, Creator wasn't on a great probe count either. Remember, we said he wasn't rebuilding probes. He was kind of committed to doing damage with this attack, and yeah, he did damage, but again, we end up in this position where it's like, well, at the end of the day, is it enough? Ravages on the left-hand side, Infestors too. Just going to be seeing this force of Creator coming down at the bottom left-hand side. Killings, the Ravages all moving forward. Nice fungal growth on the Infestors. Going to grab those Stalkers a couple times over. So, yeah, nice to have a couple of Infestors out. You can see where they can be useful, right? They're not something you see all the time in these situations, but yeah, they 100% do have their uses. They do have their opportunities to shine. Flying Clouds coming in. It's interesting because obviously Creator's army is almost going for a full wraparound here, trying to come in from all sorts of different angles, but, well, is it going to be enough at the end of the day? Scarlett does back it up for now. Extra Lings all pouring out. I mean, Scarlett's army is still kind of low tech. Yeah, a couple of spellcasters with the Infestors and Vipers, but it's so heavily focused on the Ling Ravager. It's just kind of crazy across the board now as Ling Bane continues out, extra Zealots and stuff coming through. Up the shot flies down. It's going to hit a couple of Ravages, so it's going to hurt. Just going to see our Lings coming in. Just going to go after those cannons. Counterattack from Scarlett could actually be pretty good here in the natural. Obviously, right now, so much of the attention is out over on the far left side of the map, and with the attention being over there, well, yeah, I mean, this is where Scarlett actually can succeed massively on this run by. DT warps in to clean it up, but it's going to take a while for DT to get rid of all of those Lings. Oh, this Disruptor shot might be big, gets a good amount of Ravages, picked up by the Prism as well. Creator does have about equal army supply, which is generally very good. Scarlett's going to lose a base as she backs up. It's going to force Creator to come deeper onto creep. Creator has, again, basically no workers as we do see a good set of Vials. Kills off an Archon. Ideally, you want to get those Vials onto the Prism, and we are going to get the Prism now, I believe, so that's no more Warpins, but is it too late for Scarlett? She needs extra units to show up right now. She's got drones pulling in. She can't afford to lose some because she's killed a lot of workers across the map. Stalker's still blinking along. Queen taking damage. Ling Roach Ravager still chasing through. Stalker's continuing to drop. Nexus going down. And, I mean, Scarlett is... can she clean this up? She's actually going to bring her links back from across the map, which might just be the necessity here. If she can get the links from across the map to clean this up, because obviously none of the reinforcements from Kraid are coming onto this side of the map because there's no prison. They're all building at home, and Scarlett is going to clean up this army. And now Kraid is on 31 probes. Can he rebuild enough? Absolutely nutty end to this game, it would seem. GG's. Wow. Scarlett is just about able to make it happen. Needed to get the prism. If the prism didn't go down, reinforcements were still in that fight. Probably is Kraid's game. I think it's the correct people making the game, and it's they're making the correct decisions, and they 100% have the correct plan. And I'm 100% behind it. I completely believe in it, I suppose. It's a TLDR. So yeah, 100% behind Stormgate on this side for me. Not a bad word to say, honestly. Very excited. If I have a YouTube video, if you want to hear me actually talk about why, instead of just me being like, it's amazing! Scarlett in the top right, Creator in the bottom left as we get going on to game number 2. It was Glitter and Ashes as the map pick, so the map pick which we maybe expected a little bit, right? And we will go from there. Sophie is heading down to the bottom left-hand side and is going to be coming on a bit of a journey. And going to be seeing what's going on. Obviously, Glitter and Ashes, much bigger map than Berlingrad. A lot more room to work with, and I don't imagine Creator is going to open with that Robo style this time around. I would have to imagine something more akin to a Stargate opener. Obviously, Stargate opener can lead into a whole bunch of different things. We'll see exactly what his approach will be here over these next couple minutes. We're coming in overhead. I'm just going to be seeing the Adept Chrono boosting out the gateway, the Cybercore building up the warp gate as well. And our Zerglin speed is building up now from Scarlett. Yeah, Stargate as we expected. It's a big map, right? Stargate can do a lot of creating the map control, giving you a lot of the safety you want, be able to play into all the bases that you would like to have on a map like this one. So it just sets you up nicely to get the nice 3-base setup or so. Excuse me. Just going to be seeing our Stalker's going to go pinging away at the movie for a little bit. Sorry, just replying in chat a little bit. Let's see how Stalker going to be able to grab that Overlord. And yeah, just going to be able to grab that. Obviously, power of having the Oracle and the Stargate to provide that high ground vision so you can clean that up nice and easily. And just going to be seeing the second Oracle popping out. It's going to fly to the front and be able to join up. The 2 Oracles are going to begin to make their way out across to the top right of the map, and away they go. The third one on the way, so potentially go into that Forge, Twilight, get the blink going beyond this, right? Triple Oracle is very good at supporting that Stalker style. As first Oracle dies, though, and that's just Creator again a little bit too committed in. We kill a Queen, we kill a Drone, but losing an Oracle already is just expensive. Not what you want to be seeing. not how you want things to be going. And yeah, that's just a little bit unfortunate because, yeah, just avoidable as well, right? It doesn't have to happen like that at the end of the day. It could have been an extra oracle alive, and there's a reason you're making 3 oracles. You don't just want 2 on the map, you want 3, and yeah, now you've already lost 1. Now you're only going to have 2, as Scarlett is going to play a melee upgrade style. So a lot of lings early in the defense against this kind of expected kind of set of stalkers, and that's exactly why you want the oracles, because then the oracles can help you against those zerglings, and especially if you build into melee upgrade, you gotta imagine that they are going to be pretty freaking important. As long as you gotta wrap around these adepts, but it's going to be expensive with the oracle there, and quite a few lings do end up going down. I guess nice to get rid of the adepts, remove the threat of them shading by and getting, you know, in somewhere. And blinking +1 continuing through. Oracle is building and just going to be seeing our extra gateways coming in. Adept shading out from the left-hand side. Rotoron, Bane Nest, both continuing up. 7 drones in production. The melee upgrade completing shortly. All of this getting rounded out here. Scarlett's going to go straight to +2. Obviously, with this amount of lings and melee upgrades, there's no surprise to see the Baneling nest, and especially when +2 kicks in. You want those Banelings to be rolling into mineral lines and one-shotting those probes. That's generally a huge part of the plan in this, so that's going to be the setup that we have. Well, just going to be having ourselves the Ling's really going to have to start taking control of this map. Scarlett's really setting up for everything now, right here. Drone can's about to be good to just spam units, and we'll kind of come down to Created to start dealing with the spam units. He is on the offensive as well, so Scarlett's going to counterattack, and again, this is already where we're going to be seeing the usefulness of those oracles. And the stack defense here, seemingly enough. Lings alone, just going to struggle to do too much. Extra Stalkers and Zealots warping in, going to move up the right-hand side, and already going in after an Overlord, so an OV being chased down at the moment is going to fall. This Queen's going to get through, and just going to be seeing the extra Lings, maybe wanting to try and engage into this. It's a lot of Stalkers with these Banes waddling forward, but they're about to have their Baneling speed to be moving that much more quickly and effectively. Going to be rolling through there. Stasis Ward goes off. Bane's getting caught up a little bit. Scarlett having a bit of a tough time here defending. I mean, again, just was very Lingbane heavy initially, but hasn't been able to find a good fight against these Stalkers at all. And Create on an army supply lead, he'll just keep pulling back and, you know, trading efficiently with these Stalkers right now. Definitely seems like quite the problem to be facing against. Well, extra Crypt Team is going down. The Stalker's still pushing up this ramp. Pulling some more Banes. All continuing through. The hive is about halfway done at the moment. Baneling going down. The rest of the Lings coming through. You're seeing the extra Stalkers all finishing up, and just going to see the Stasis Ward catching. Actually creates a little bit of a force field that slows down some of the units. Force fields on the back actually kind of stopped Creative from kind of kiting away, but he did have the blink to the low ground. It helps out a lot as the Oracles just kind of sat here dishing out damage for free, right? There's nothing to stop those Oracles from just dealing damage during this, and they're absolutely making the most of it. Adrenal Glands, +3 melee, +1 missiles, all of that continues up, and we do have the Ultra Cavern coming into play as well. It's just going to be getting that going up in the main base. So Scarlett is going to finally find maybe what she's always been aiming for here, and just something that, you know, helps kind of piece together everything, because again, at the moment, it feels kind of a little bit lackluster. right? You're kind of just out in the open. You're kind of on your own. Doesn't feel immediately fantastic just yet, right? Lings do wrap around. Couple Zealots going down. These Stalkers going to get chased away. These other couple Zealots getting wrapped around as well. Lings, Banes pushed back to the middle of the map. So here we go with that. The Stalkers coming through, able to grab a Queen, and the rest of the Lings coming across. Gonna get a little surround on those Stalkers as well. Stalkers will recall out of there. And now more Lingbane and Roach heading back through the top side. We're gonna once again re-engage in and just get a wrap around on the gateway and the battery here. And maybe Scarlett can get something done across the map, looking to try and deny this. Frenchie incoming Nexus. She's actually going to grab these Stalkers on the left. A lot of Freya's units are just not here. He will fall back to the Super Battery and the stack defense. Super Battery an immediate target for the Banelings. Yeah, those Stalkers are in trouble, and you can just see it. The Banes don't really have anything to connect onto right now. The Lings still chasing those down. Oh, these Banes are going to find a group of Zealots. That's nice. That's exactly what Banes are meant to be doing in these scenarios. This is great for Scarlett. She's really catching so much of this army just unaware and unprepared. And it's causing a lot of trouble. Lings, Roach still going after these Stalkers, which flings back over the other side. Dark Shrine is just about halfway done. A couple Colossi continuing out. Also, Extended Thermal Lance coming in. +1 armor beginning to build as 2 Colossi on the way out, rallying at the front. You have the Lings coming in to wrap around, but the Zealots aren't able to lift into the Prism, creating a getaway. A lot more Lingbane coming through, and the Oracles picking away at a lot of those Banes. Roach is taking some damage as well. Lings maybe wanting to slide by. Yeah, the Lings wrapping around and picking off a lot of those Stalkers. Other Banes going to the top left, and I mean, this base, is it in trouble or is it not? I mean, maybe Super Battery over here should get blown up, and these few Stalkers, they're going to have Immortal support, so it looks like this base is going to be okay. Top left base survives as well. Feels like this kind of scrappy situation is going to be alright in the end for Creator. Scarlett has an Ultra and a couple of Roaches remaining. That Ultra is going to try and just get rid of a bit more stack defense before it dies. If there's anything you do here, to be fair, getting rid of stack defense is great because it just allows your further attacks to be that much more effective and just that much better in general, right? Definitely has an impact. More Banes down the left-hand side, going to roll on through, looking for this mineral line. Bunch of probes that are in some pretty quick trouble. 7 workers going down. Skull keeping the aggression up, really making sure Kraid doesn't get much of a chance at all to be able to rebuild, regroup, comfortably kind of gather together once again, even if that last attack was dealt with. I mean, you've already got kind of a full force ready to go once more here, so pressing straight on through. Lings are already backing away. Got an Immortal. It's going to take a few shots of damage, and all of these Ultras are going to start making their way up to the top here. Bane's crashing into the Zealots, and now making their way into this mineral line as well. It's a lot of probes that are just going to blow up in an instant, and honestly, that Nexus could go down. One Ultra, I guess, may just tap it down. I thought the Banes might just blow it up, but there's nothing to actually kill these Ultras. Creator doesn't have enough at all, and Scarlett swarms on Glitter and Ashes, picking up the W and sending the Shopify Rebellion to a 3-1 lead. Means that Hearthstone only needs 1 map win against Bunny to finish this off.